Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I didn't press that button. There we go. Amateurs. Anyway, we can edit that bit out. Don't worry. I've always told you about this. This is fine. It's not a problem. Right. Happy Easter. Happy Sunday. Yes, welcome to FULWHU, as it says there on the banner. Please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platform. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support. We're here to discuss the aftermath of a free-flowing and scintillating display from... Yeah, all right. I was there. I was very lucky I was there. Or was I? I'm not quite sure. It was a weird one. I got a ticket at the 11th hour. Thanks, Aaron. Do appreciate you getting in touch with me, mate. And about 11 o'clock this was yesterday. I got a text because I put out a few little begging messages, and a mutual friend of ours popped up and went, "I've got a spare ticket if you want one." And I was like, happy days. So public transport, went across from Kent to southwest London and watched West Ham grind out a victory. It was a tough watch, Duke, I can't lie. But we got the win, and really that's all that matters, isn't it?
I need to think about this. I've had 24 hours to try and come up with some sort of polarizing views. We'll come to that. I've actually answered my part of it in the chat, but we'll come to that. I've tried to come up with an argument for a polarizing view, Robert, based on yesterday. And in the last 24 hours, I've really struggled to come up with... Larry, I will cover that as well momentarily. There was nothing... I'll tell you what, let me rephrase that. Other than the 1-0 win. Absolutely nothing positive to take from that game whatsoever. None. Absolutely zero. Other than the win, there is nothing positive to take from that victory. I watched the game this afternoon, Rob. Well, I watched the second half of the game earlier.
Did you have nothing better to do with your time?
Well, not during the Palace Leeds game, I didn't know. The other game, however, slightly busier. Now, I watched a team earlier that were in the throes of a relegation battle with the rest of us. Okay, Crystal Palace versus Leeds. Both teams in a relegation battle. Both teams struggling at the wrong end of the table. Yet Palace had, going into today, Palace had the better deal out of the 9 teams that are down here with us. Yeah, so us
Yep.
and 8 others. And Palace had the better deal because they were at the top end of those 8 on 27 points and were looking better for it. Okay, they go into the game today, Rob, and well, they played on the front foot. They played some free-flowing football. All right, they went 1-0 down, don't get me wrong. And the fact that the goalkeeper, what's the young goalkeeper's name? Please, Palace.
What, Ilya Melier?
The
Palace. Palace goalkeeper.
Is it Johnson?
Sam Johnston,
Yeah.
the ex-West Brom goalkeeper, when he was after him for a bit.
What a save from a free kick from Leeds. Really good save. 1-1 at half time, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Second half, they come out, it was a completely different team. They won 5-1, Palace.
They did.
And that's what you get for playing on the front foot, playing attacking football, and not just being shit. Okay, I watched our game yesterday, and I actually thought that was a worse performance than it was on Wednesday against Newcastle. As a performance, I thought it was worse. There was less individual errors, granted, but I actually think the game itself was worse to watch than Newcastle on Wednesday. And I was there, and I watched the game on Wednesday. And yesterday, I watched the entirety of that shit show against Fulham. I've got nothing positive to say about it other than the result, Rob. There is absolutely nothing positive I can say on that game that took place yesterday. I thought we were flat, turgid, void of ideas, clueless, despondent. We lack character. We lack charisma. We lack.
I'm going to stop you there. Lacked character.
I thought so.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I honestly
fundamentally disagree with that.
Honestly, I thought we were shit. We were dog shit. Larry, fuck mine. Larry says that he thought that it was good defense, poor offense. I don't even think the defending was all that good. I really don't.
Seriously?
No, seriously. From my point of view, I thought we were absolutely rotten to the core. This club is currently. I find one positive out of yesterday. 2 positives. I lie. 2 positives out of yesterday's game. One is a result, and 2 is a certain right back looking like his old self. Other than that, I've got nothing for yesterday's game that makes me go, yeah, that's good, wonderful. I'm actually looking forward to Genk on Thursday to try and actually get some sort of smile back on my face when it comes to my football club, because I thought yesterday was just awful. I really did.
I completely disagree with you in terms of the defence, in terms of character, in terms of digging in and finding a way by hook or by crook to turn a crap performance into 3 points. I mean, I think we were crap going forwards. I'll give you that 100%. We were absolutely piss poor as an offensive unit, as an offensive force. But in terms of our defensive capabilities, in terms of our organisation, in terms of our resilience, in terms of our character, 10 out of 10.
Do you know what gives you that idea,
10, ladies and gentlemen?
You know what gives you that idea?
The fact that I watched it unfold in front of me.
No. Listen, your opinion is valid and it's yours, and I'm not going to sit here and call you all names under the sun for having that opinion. It's not how this works.
That wouldn't be the first time.
What I will say is that if Fulham had someone on the pitch with, if they had they had a Lucas Paqueta, if they had a, I don't know, a Dimitri Payet-esque type player, someone that could pick a pass, someone that could carve us open, rather than trying to use a blunt instrument against a wall. If they had a striker, if they had a striker, listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. At the end of the day, the result's a result. I get that, and that's what we've got to look at. But I actually feel if Fulham had a point at the end of their pokey stick that they were using against us yesterday, if Mitrovic had played yesterday, Rob, we'd be in all sorts of trouble today. We really would. I actually think it was their lack of penetration, their lack of a final ball, their lack of a finisher on that pitch. It's a different ball game. It really is.
That's their problem.
But no, and that's but we look. It's the same as Southampton. No, last week, Rob, we won because we were slightly less shit than the Southampton team last week. We only won this week because Fulham didn't have any kind of penetration. If they'd had that finisher or penetration on the pitch, it's a whole different ball game. So it basically comes down to the same sort of thing as Southampton last week for me. We only won because we were a little less shit than the team we come up against. It was an own goal. I've not seen the possession stats, but it was mentioned to me that it was something in the lines of 74, I think, something stupid like that. And I can see everyone's comments in the chats, and I'm not disagreeing with things they're saying. Yes, Duke, if we had a Payet, we wouldn't be where we are. Well, we still have Brazil's number 10. We still have Italy's number 9. Yet we can't. No, but we can't fucking use them, Rob, because our manager's absolutely fucking clueless on how to set a team up with quality players. If we played on the front foot yesterday, and honest to God, I believe this, if we played on the front foot yesterday, we could have got a hell of a lot more out of that game. But we didn't. Whether that's the setup or whether that's the manager, whether that's the players just being on the pitch and going through the motions, I don't know. But I sat there yesterday and I come away from that game feeling absolutely... And nothing's changed in the last 24 hours, especially watching Palace absolutely fucking demolish... Leeds, and then watching what was a really good game between Arsenal and Liverpool there. I feel completely flat, Rob. I feel shit. I feel like we've got nothing, and it really upsets me. And I'll be honest with you, I don't give two shits at the minute about when West Ham are playing in the league. I don't, because I really can't get excited by it, and people might come at me and have a moan and whatnot, and that's fine. And they can have their opinions, and we can have a conversation in the same way that you and I are here. But my opinions are my opinions, and I'm not going to change that just because someone says, "Well, Duke, I think you're wrong." I stick by them. I thought we were shit yesterday, and we only won because Fulham, it's all blended into one. Fulham didn't have anything on the pitch because their main striker's been banned for being a silly boy.
But again, like I say, that's their issue. But in case anybody isn't too sure of stats, Duke, I prepared this little piece of VT. So see that red button in front of you? Just press it for us, would you? obviously you've got there the key performance. And for those of you watching on Facebook or on Twitter, you might not be aware of this. On the YouTube channel, we've actually got a poll running at the minute for the Man of the Match award. There's 4 contenders that I've put up there. You've got Angelo Ogbonna, who I've highlighted on that little piece of VT as having the key performance yesterday. In my opinion, he was the man of the match, but you might not agree with that.
How? Oh
There's
my
three
word!
there's 3 other people that I've put in the mix there. Kurt Zuma, Lucas Fabianski, and Aaron Cresswell. You might
And the man of the match ain't even on there.
Well, again, as we say, mate. Honestly, man of the match for me was by an absolute country mile. It was Ogbonna, 100%. I mean,
Not by a country mile.
he was. Seriously, he was. Seriously, he was organising that back line. His inclusion, for me, was the reason why we got a clean sheet. 100%. He's come in at the age of 34, a year, 18 months after having an ACL injury, which another player could have caused his retirement. He absolutely organised that back line. And one other thing, I mean, sort of like to try and put a slightly... And look, I'm not saying as an offensive force. Like I say, we shithoused that win. I'm not going to say anything else. We shithoused that win. But one thing I will point out is what you'll notice on that VT, we had 23-24% of the possession. We had more shots on target than Fulham mustered with their 78%.
Yeah. And I know what you're saying there, but as Eamon says there, we've got our captain saying coming out that we're trying to play possession football. Well, quite clearly we're fucking not.
Yeah, but that was earlier this season. They were trying to sort of play a possession-based game, and it didn't work.
Rob, again, all it boils down to is the fact that they. I know what you're going to say. Well, that's their problem. Yeah, it is their problem. Our problems are ours, and we're shit. And we are abs. And I'll tell you what, we are devoid of ideas. We are. The players look just absolutely like. Why am I even bothering at times? That's how that come across yesterday at times. I saw Danny Ings come off, and Danny Ings is like, well, what's the fucking point of me being here? And you can see that in him. Danny Ings is like, what the fucking hell am I here? When he takes off an attacking player and he brings on Downs, you know what he's doing, right? I personally don't think Oggy was man of the match for me. That's not to say he doesn't get a decent score from me. Larry, I agree with you. Ings didn't impress me, but that's not because that's not how he plays.
Yeah, I don't think
the situation between him and Antonio is bullshit. And Antonio, evening, Andy. I'm sorry to hear you got the grief that you got. I mean, I'm not far off receiving some myself at the moment, so it's all right. Don't worry, we're in it together. Like I say, I personally, Rob, yesterday I thought we were crap. We had to defend stalwartly because we had to. We had nothing else. We
was very deep,
mate.
A lot of that game.
Deep. At one point, we were playing a 9-0-1 in defence. Out of possession, our formation, in fact, you could go as far as say it was a 10-0-0 because Ings was defending 4 yards from the edge of our box.
Yeah, we had both Antonio and Ings within 5-10 yards of our 18-yard line.
And I also rang 999 at 10-5 yesterday to report a robbery at Craven Cottage. Because we stole 3 points. We didn't deserve them in the slightest, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. I'm not saying that people don't deserve to have their own opinions and that I'm the only one that's right and they're all wrong. That's not how this works. But I thought we were shit yesterday. We didn't deserve to win. We didn't deserve to take 3 points from Craven Cottage. We didn't deserve to be in a position where relegation is now in our own hands, essentially. we don't lose, we don't go down. It's quite simple, isn't it? But awful, just honest to God, shockingly bad. The fact that we camped so deep, I'm going to put on Moyes. Don't get me wrong. The fact
Oh
that
yeah.
there were the blocks and everything else. Yeah, defensively we were defensively we were better only because they were shit. If you get my meaning, if you understand, we look better. We look better defensively because attackingly they were dog shit.
But surely we can only look good defensively if they
But
test us.
I'll tell you what. There you go. For me, Eamon has just absolutely nailed everything. Tell you what, Eamon has just said in one comment
Mm.
everything that I've been trying to say and running around the houses with it. There it is. There it is.
Mm. But as I say, if they're that bad in attack, then surely our defense needs to have something to make them look good. Do you see what I'm saying?
What, standing in front of a poor shot and blocking it? That's essentially where we're going here. What did we block? 11 shots.
Yeah, I believe that was
I think that's what your VT said.
yeah. Believe so.
11 shots that we blocked. That's it. You know, you say that we had more shots on target than they did. Yeah, it's only because we're blocking them. It's only because we're getting bodies in the way because we're so fucking deep.
Oh,
It's only
mate,
that there's so
we were
many bodies
so
in.
deep, it's
It's only
ridiculous.
because there's so many bodies back there that they're carooning off of everything that we put there. Doesn't mean we're good defensively. It just means we've got 350 people standing in front of goal. There's a boy. Listen, Andy, bang on, son.
He was all right, but he
Bang
had
on.
45% possession of passing accuracy.
Don't care.
Well, if you for every pass you make, you're giving away sort of like more than every other pass. I'm not quite sure I agree with that. But again, as you said earlier, we're all entitled to
Yeah,
opinions.
no, I don't.
I thought Oggy was head and shoulders man of the match.
I
Head and
think
shoulders.
defensively, Sufal was outstanding. I think he rolled back the months, years. Yesterday, I thought he was the best player on the pitch by a country mile yesterday. But again, everyone's entitled to their opinions, and I'm certainly not going to sit here and state that you're all fucking wrong, and I don't want to listen to it. I'm willing to enter into it like we are here. I've listened to your valid opinion from what you're saying, and you've listened to mine. That's how this works. I'm willing to enter into an educated discussion with people over, how we saw things, and that's fine. But I'm telling you now,
Thank you, Larry. By the way,
without a doubt, thank you, you beautiful man. I
and
need to
happy
borrow.
Easter.
Is that him in the picture? Because I need to borrow his suit. I might have to get the buttons taken out a bit because I don't think that go around me.
That's his military garb.
Yeah, I know. I just want to do do a cosplay of an officer and a gentleman. That's all.
Steady.
We come up against a side. I mean, fuck it. We're coming up against a side like it very soon. In fact, we're coming up against one next week. They'll rip us a new one, Rob. I'm actually going to go, and I was having a conversation downstairs with someone earlier. There you go. I actually had a conversation with someone downstairs earlier during the Arsenal game. I'm actually going to put a bet on over 4.5 goals next week because I actually think Arsenal are going to put 5 past us next week because we are that poor. All it needs is someone with penetration. And I don't mean Dirk Diggler. Someone with a decent bit of penetration, we'll fall apart. We really will.
But do you not?
We can't play defensive football when we're shit.
Do you not think though that maybe just to try and sort of like look at it from another angle, the coming a couple of days off of a 5-1 home thumping against Newcastle, individual mistakes littering that 90-minute performance, and I say performance within inverted commas, that they found a way by hook or by crook to go away from home and get a result, and the performance is largely irrelevant given where we find. I mean, look,
Do you
would you
honestly think
rather
if we
have had
played anyone other than Fulham, we would have got that result? Anyone, anyone
that's
other than Fulham?
is that relevant? We're playing
Yes, it
Fulham.
is. No, it is relevant
If my aunt
because
had bollocks, she'd be my uncle.
no, it is relevant because you say there that you say there that we've put that result behind us to go and get a result there. We wouldn't have got that result had it been anyone else. And I do mean that. I mean anyone else. I look at Palace today, and I actually had us down as getting a draw against Palace in our final few games. I've retracted that, and I actually think we will lose against Palace if they play like they did again today, and we played like we did yesterday.
It was quite an un-Roy Hodgson-like performance.
Was it though, or was it him setting them up to go? Okay, go play. As long as we are strong defensively, go play.
Not again to put a counter argument across. Could it be that Leeds are that shit and we've got to play Leeds coming up at
Yeah.
London?
I listen. Don't get me wrong. In the first 15 minutes.
Oh, and just to mention that, just if I may, the fans, because Milesy's referencing it here, fans were magnificent.
Yep.
Fans were absolutely out fucking standing. Second half especially, it was just, we was singing, we was really sort of pushing the team on. The fans played their part. The fans really did give the players every ounce of encouragement that they could. They were superb.
There you go. And Andy says it in the next comment. I actually think yesterday was a worse performance.
Oh, yeah, all round, I'd say. Well, I think offensively we were better Wednesday. Obviously, I think it's difficult to say that defensively we were when you've conceded 5 goals at home against a clean sheet away from home.
But again, I mean, listen, we
offensively, yes,
we could back this backwards and forwards and get nowhere. Do you know what I mean? It's not that.
Oh, and I agree with that, Spencer. Yeah, we play like that against Arsenal.
I mean, look at this.
Handed to us.
Look at this. That's just for me. That's painful. That stat there is shocking, Rob.
Which one are you looking at? What the passes?
The total, just the total in general. We made 219 passes in the entire fucking game yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like, what in God's green earth is that about? We consider ourselves a better. Listen, and don't tell me coming into this season that we thought that Fulham were going to be a better team than us. Please don't tell me.
No,
don't tell me that we still think Fulham are a better team than us, because they're not. Right, we have the better players. No, we have the better players, Rob. Don't give.
We have the better players, but some way, somehow, they are better than us this season.
No, that's just because they're putting in more consistent performances that are better than ours. But the sum of its parts, we have better players. They have a better manager. But the fact that we are West Ham United, and over the course of 90 minutes, we are only making 219 passes. We didn't score. We didn't score. Let's not fuck around there. We could have scored, but we didn't score. I mean, Ings was there. Again, would he have put it in the back of the net? We don't know. It's come off of Reed. It's squirmed its way in at the far post. I come away with that, honestly, despite the win, feeling like we could still go down, because I still think we will lose games to a lot of teams that we've got left based on that one performance. I said to you the other day, and have done several times actually over these videos, we only have to rely on getting a better result than 3 of the other teams around us. Well, that's great, and we did. I don't see us getting a better result, and bearing in mind that we've got to play, I think, 4 of the others. You know what I mean? So,
what, the other relegation teams?
Yeah,
it's Palace, Bournemouth, Leeds, Leicester.
I can see. We play like we did yesterday. Play like we did yesterday, and we lose those 4 games. Forget the other three in Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. We lose them as well. We could actually lose every single game left in our Premier League season if we play like we did yesterday. Convincingly lose, and
What
then
do you
we're
make
down.
of what Larry says here, though? 6 points in 3 matches.
We needed. I'd say we needed a minimum of 7. A minimum of 7. That's just me.
What do
I'm
you think the
great.
safety target is? What do you think gets us safety? 36, 37?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. As soon as you brought that up, I did a bit of work. Well, I didn't do the work. My brother did the work. Let's not pretend, because if he watches this, he's going to call me out on it. So I'm not going to pretend I did it. So my brother took us, Southampton, Leicester, Forest, Everton, Leeds, Bournemouth, and Palace. So the 8 teams. I think he missed one. I do think he missed one. So Palace, Bournemouth, Leeds, Everton, Forest, Leicester, Southampton, and West Ham. He missed one because there's another one that should be in there because there's 9 of us. But let's not worry about that right now. So he did he got all their fixtures and he did this. So he's predicted that West Ham from our remaining games will pick up 10 points. I think that could be a bit of a stretch, but he sees us picking up 10 points, which gives us what, 37.
Yep.
Right,
10 points.
10 points. No,
What,
gives us
from here on in, or is it?
yeah.
Before
No. This was after yesterday's score.
Well, we're on 30 now.
So no, it gives us 40. Sorry, yep, because that's yeah. He gave Southampton a chance of winning 3 points. Leicester 6 points, Forest 2. And bearing in mind that we've got a couple of games in here against these teams, which I'm going to guess he gave us a positive result, be it a draw. Forest 2, Everton 6, Leeds 4, Bournemouth 4, hey Joan, and Palace getting 11. Obviously before today, so that's them picking up another 8. He had relegation places as bottom, Southampton with 26 points. Mm-hmm. He had Nottingham Forest 19th with 29 points. And he had Leicester 31 points in 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chris probably won't like that, but never mind.
No, he's just turned off.
Now, that being said, we have to play Leicester.
Yep, last day.
Okay. So it could come down to us and them for going down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's what he's got as the 3 relegation points. So according to this, safety could be 32 points. Do I agree? I think that's very low.
That sounds it.
I think that's very low. But he reckons safety could be 32 points. But then safety being 32 points is based on the fact that we're playing 4 of our relegation rivals. If we don't pick up points, it's going to be less. We're not going to get the 10 points. So it could be that it needs to be, it just depends on those 4 games, Rob. We need to pick up, out of those 4 games, so it's Leicester, Bournemouth, Palace, Leeds.
Yep.
And then we've got the other 3 games. So the other 3 games I'm throwing away as we sit here now. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. I'm throwing them away. Yeah, I'm not including them. So we've got 4 games. 12 points puts us on 42. What's silly you? What's silly you, Mr. Miles? Behave yourself. Talk to me. We have to get a point or more from those 4 games. Okay? Simple as. Because then we pick up a point on all 4 of our relegation.
Also got Brentford as well, haven't we?
That's the other one. Thank you. So 4. That's a that for me can be a middle ground. The 3 are throwaway, 4 are important ones, slap bang in the middle.
Mind you, Liverpool don't travel very well this season.
They don't play very well this season, Rob. To be honest with you, I mean, that's not
that wouldn't surprise me if we could get a point there, mate. That one, I'm not quite sure that's a throwaway
what?
game. City away and Arsenal next week, they're what I would call a free hit. In other words, we're probably going to pick up absolutely fuck all.
But can you see us going to a hybrid Emirates next week and absolutely shithousing our way to
It's at London Stadium.
Obviously at London Stadium? Can you see us shithousing our way to a Bobby Zamora, Rob Green-esque type? No, but it can happen because no one gave us a chance there. No one gave us a chance with DeCanio at Old Trafford. Like these are the sort of things we do. We can absolutely fuck up Arsenal's title challenge next week at the London Stadium by absolutely rocking up and absolutely fucking destroying it. Won't happen. I'm just saying it can.
I didn't see you either, so that makes two of us.
Rob was walking around with his eyes closed. It's all right.
Oh, no, Simon, my eyes were very wide open. I can assure you.
Simon met David Sullivan yesterday.
I saw. Yeah. David Sullivan looked thrilled.
So True Cockney says 38-39. Where the 9 points come from, I'm not sure. Well,
I think
if that's the case, it has to be from 3 of the 4 games that we've just mentioned.
I'm thinking 36-37.
No, but if you want to stay up, you got. I mean, I'm not being funny. If you want to stay up, you've got to pick up 12 points from them 4 games.
Oh, 12 points from those 4 games would see you easily safe.
But that's the point,
42,
isn't it?
Wouldn't you?
But that's the point. That's the minimum we've got to go looking for, Rob. The minimum we go looking for has to be 12 points. If we want safety, if we want Premier League football next season, we have to target 12 points from those games. And playing like we did yesterday, we won't get those.
Do you know what I found really weird about yesterday, though, Duke? Just what Si was saying about the neutral stand. I'm guessing you're on about the new stand. Well, I'm guessing he's on about because I don't know if you know that they've recently built a new stand. It's the stand that sort of backs onto the River Thames, and they haven't fully opened.
They reclaimed some of the Thames, didn't they? And the walkway that went behind it, as far as I'm aware, I do believe they built out onto the Thames.
This stand's open, but
it's not.
It's not open because there's this sort of like this stretch in the middle where there's nobody sitting there, and apparently right at the top there was Marco Silva.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I saw the
with his coaching staff. But you know the really weird thing where I went in, because I was in the stand that was behind the goal, and the really weird thing was, see, I've gone in and it said away supporters as you went in on the turnstiles above, and I thought, okay, fine. So went in there and I was watching in the concourse, I was watching Manchester United against Everton. And I tell you what, the food there actually was really good. They did this deal, pie and a pint for about £9 something. So I had
a paella pint?
No, pie and a pint.
Oh, you got to say it slowly for those that are not listening.
It's just because you're going deaf. Anyway, so yeah, it was about £9 something, right? I think it was about £9.25, whatever. So I had a pint of Guinness. And I had, I said, what are the pies you got? And this woman turned around and said, I got this. And it was a chicken balti pie was the one I went for, right? So I went, okay, fine. Now, you know what, normally you get a pie and you bite into it and it's sort of like about 80% of the insides is air, right?
Yeah.
This, oh, mate, I bit into it. It was full of proper chunks of chicken. I was like, my God, this is nothing like London Stadium, where you sort of get sort of dog shit standard football food chucked at you. This was proper. I was like, actually, £9 odd for a pint of Guinness and this pie. Actually, I thought was really good value. So hats off. So anyway, I'm standing there with me pie, with me pint. I'm watching the game. I'm looking around.
Your pie and a pint. What actually?
No, watching the telly, watching the Man United Everton game before
makes sense for me
before the main event kicked off, right? So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm looking around, and all of a sudden, it dawned on me that geezer's wearing a Fulham shirt. That geezer's wearing a Fulham tracksuit top. That girl over there, she's wearing sort of like tracky bottoms with Fulham on it. And I'm looking around, and it's like there's Fulham fans in with the West Ham fans. We were literally underneath this stand. We was all just mingling. We was all sort of like just passing through each other. And it was like, oh, hello, how you doing? I was like, this is bizarre. This is just really weird. I've never been to a Premier League game where the fans of both teams were literally, they've gone through the turnstile, for Christ's sake. It's not like you're in the road, you're walking to the ground. You're actually in the ground now, and you're occupying the same stand. It was really odd, but there was no trouble, I've got to say. I mean, Fulham fans are usually a pretty good bunch, and it was all very peaceful. I never saw any arguments, anything nasty. Everybody behaved themselves. I thought it was nice, but I just thought it was really weird. But there you go.
I mean, yeah, it's just to be fair, mate. It's nice when it happens like that. To be fair, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever been to Craven Cottage?
No, not even walk past it.
No, I'd never been until yesterday, to be fair. Lovely old ground. I mean, I've seen it obviously often on the telly, with the little cottage in the corner sort of thing. And yeah, proper old school ground. And I've ticked it off my bucket list. But
Fair
yeah,
play, good sir.
no, it was like I say, just to sort of recap from my end, it was a tough watch from someone that was there. I mean, everybody around me was like, "This is painful.
Yeah,
This is really sort of difficult to watch," and we was sort of watching it literally like that. Do you know what I mean? Because we all thought, oh, at any minute we're gonna crack. At any minute we're gonna crack. But do you know what? When it got to around about 70, 75 minutes, I started to really sort of think, no, they're not. No, they're not going to crack. They're going to hold out because they're not good enough offensively. We are organised. We're solid. We're resolute at the back. We have their number. I thought Fabianski made a really important save from Andreas Pereira. It looked like he was going to go round him, and Fabianski
that was
managed to sort of
superb.
stretch out. That he goes around. I'll tell you what, they score that. I'm pretty confident Fulham go on to win the game.
He wins the ball. He wins the ball, and Fabianski takes him down. There's a red card straight there, mate.
Yeah. But I thought that we were. Like I say, I thought at the back we were excellent.
Yeah,
I really do. And as I say,
I heard what you're saying. I don't necessarily.
I just
agree,
think it's. Do you know what
me?
Do you know what I think as well, though? And this was sort of 2:00 when the team sheets were announced. And I'm looking and I'm going, not one of his summer signings are starting today. Not one. It's back to the old guard. And someone sent something on a group chat that I'm on, and it was the lineup of West Ham against Fulham. I think it might have been 2 or 3 seasons ago. And it's virtually the team that took to the pitch yesterday, almost to a man.
Again, I mean, he doesn't know how to use the news players he's got, Rob, and there's your issue.
Well, and that's kind of, I mean, I turned around to someone and said it beforehand, so basically he's admitting that he's wasted 180 million quid. That for me is a sackable offence, let alone anything else. That is, so let me get this straight. So David, you've taken 180 million quid and you've literally just shoved it down the bog. Seriously. And yeah, the only new start signing was Ings, but he wasn't a summer signing. So all the summer signings, none of them started. None of them. 6 of them were on the bench. And I think only one of that 6 in Flynn Downs actually got on the pitch and got any minutes. And can I just say, and I know I've been having a little bit of a pop at him lately, but I think he deserves it, Thomas Souček. Flynn Downs, if you look at, and I did a little comparison of Flynn Downs' stats compared to Thomas Souček's stats. Now, bear in mind, Thomas Souček completed 90 minutes. Flynn Downs played about 23. And you sort of look and you go, do you know what? I think if Flynn Downs had played 90 minutes, he makes a much, much bigger impact for West Ham United than Thomas Souček made. But I don't know what, and I've said this before, I don't know what sort of performance it's going to take from Thomas Souček for David Moyes to say, I'm sorry, mate, you can't start the next week. That was awful.
Well,
poor
any
Thomas,
of them, mate, to be fair.
Yeah, poor Flynn Downs or Manuel Lanzini. I know Fornals played yesterday, but until yesterday, Fornals had found himself on the periphery. They must have been sitting there going, what sort of performance has he got to put in for me
Yeah.
to get a fucking opportunity? I do think that some of his management, his man management, I'm not talking about his in-game tactics. I'm not talking necessarily specifically about his use of substitutes from a tactical point of view. From a point of view of keeping everyone involved and all the rest of it and making people feel like they're valued, I don't think that David Moyes has done a very good job at all.
No, he hasn't. But that's. Did I put in the chat yesterday that my stream was about 3 minutes behind the play, same as Socek.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's that's where I was at.
I think you might be very generous there, if I might say. But yeah, so we obviously go on to Arsenal next. I think each of us, yeah, Milesy, you're probably right there, mate. He probably still is. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously we've got the Ghent game before. It'll be quite interesting because obviously he's got a game in Belgium on Thursday. He's then got a game against the team that, in all probability, are going to be the Premier League champions later on this season. And it'll be interesting to see what teams he puts out in
Yeah.
both those games. You know, I don't think that he can. He's going to have to prioritize the Premier League game, I guess. But then there's another part of me that thinks, I remember, oh God, and I don't think this is the only time it's happened, but it was the most high profile one that I can remember. I remember Mick McCarthy when he was in charge at Wolves, taking Wolves, who were in the middle of a relegation battle, to Manchester United and basically putting out a team completely composed of reserves. And I think he got fined for it, but he turned around and said, look, even if I put out my full strength 11, we're probably, and this was obviously Man United under Fergie. This is not sort of, since then. He just basically turned around and said, look, I could put out my strongest 11 here and it wouldn't make the blindest bit of difference. We're probably still going to get our asses handed to us on a plate. So I'm prioritizing. I think he had a game sort of like in a couple of days after that where he was playing a team that was sort of like nearer to where they were at the time. And he just said, look, that's the game I'm prioritizing, hands up. It is what it is. And I think Wolves actually got some sort of Premier League fine because they didn't play a team that was considered to be competitive and all the rest of it. But I'd be quite interested, do you think maybe David Moyes might do that? I don't think he will because he's never really done it in the past. But I'd actually not have that much of a problem if we looked at the team sheet on Sunday, if he went a little bit stronger on, because I think that we can, if we go strong against Ghent, I know it's the away leg, but let's be honest about it, Duke. Ghent shouldn't really be that much of an obstacle to us. Let's be completely honest.
No,
we should be able to put them away and have the tie more or less put to bed by the time we bring it back to London Stadium.
Completely agree.
I wouldn't actually have that much of a problem if he turned around and went, right, we're going to put out the stronger type team against Ghent. And the game against Arsenal, as we've agreed, even if we put out our strongest 11, we're probably getting beat anyway. So I'm not saying put the kids out. I'm not saying do what Sam did in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest. There's a balance, there's a middle ground. But I think that you could possibly sort of turn around and go, do you know what? We're gonna.
An argument is there to be made.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't think he'll change anything, mate. He'll keep with what he's always done and pick the strongest team for every game we're playing, and they'll be fucking knackered by the time they come to when we need them most.
Yeah. Words and pictures. Before the last 3 games, he was worried we might finish 20th. Now he's only worried that we might finish 18th. Yeah, I think that, quite honestly, I think Southampton are gone.
I see where he's coming from.
I think Southampton are dead. I think Leicester are on life support. And do you know what? The other one I'm looking at, I think, is Forest. I just look at Forest's last, half a dozen games, and you're like, they can't pick up a point for Toffee. They really can't. They've been a crap away from all season. But now their home form's deserted them.
The chances are, though, Rob, they will. There it is. There's the issue that we've got, is that they may well pick up something that we don't, and we need to be ready for that. Otherwise, it could absolutely screw us. You know what I mean? We've really got to be on our game. We can't
Mm.
keep relying on someone else not to pick up points here, there, and everywhere.
Mm.
We have to pick up ours.
Right. Shall we do the old player ratings, old son?
Yeah, let's do that. I've got to go DJ shortly, so yeah.
Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so the first one we're going to deal with is the guy between the sticks, Mr. Fabianski. Did he redeem himself?
I'm going to give him a 7. It would have only been a 6, but the save that he didn't give away a penalty for on Pereira earns him an extra point in my book.
Okay, you guys in the live chat, please feel free to get yourself involved and give the scores as we go along, and I'll get them up as we go. But as I say, we're going to try and rattle through this because Duke's got things to do in the pub downstairs. So, right, so you've given him a 7. Brought back into the right back slot, Duke. What did you? Well, you've already said that you thought he was your man of the match. How did you score him?
9.
9.
I thought he was exceptional yesterday. I thought his positioning, his drive, desire, determination was everything I wanted to see. I gave him a 9.
Okay, just got a few little here on Fabianski. Marky Boy says he was a 7. Eamon says he was 8 and gives him his man of the match. Kent gives him a 7, and Marky then goes on to say that Kufal is an 8 out of 10 performance. So we then move on, and the next one we're going to run the rule over. Talk to me about Kurt Zouma.
I'm going to give him a 7. There was a lot of a lot of blocks, a lot of putting body on the line, throwing themselves into stuff that, but it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't have to be doing that. Playing on the front foot, we should be playing them higher up the pitch and stopping them from getting that close to our goal. But I'll give them 7.
Fair enough. Again, this was my choice as the man of the match. What did you think of Angelo Ogbonna? I mean, obviously you said that you think Kufal was man of the match. Well, where did he stack up, Ogbonna?
He got an 8. Again, I get where you're coming from. The organisation, the talking, the screaming at players to get into a correct position here, there and everywhere. I saw a lot of it. I'm impressed by it. For a player, like you say, that's at the end of his career, could have had a career ender. Yesterday was impressive by him. I'll give him an 8.
Before we move on to the next one, I'm going to ask a question because obviously his contract, as far as I'm aware, is up in the summer. Would you extend it?
Yes.
Agreed. Aaron Cresswell, left back.
7. Again, if we play higher up, there's less pressure on our back four. I get where my brother's coming from when he turned around and said that we have to play deep because we don't have the pace behind us. We don't have the pace to get back, and we have to have our midfielders dropping deeper to support our defenders. But I don't like how that works. I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. We then move into the midfield section and making a return to the starting lineup again. Mr. Pablo Fornals, what did you think?
I'm guessing 0.5s are not allowed.
Listen, it's your channel as much as it's my channel, mate. Do what you want.
6.5.
Okay.
It just didn't. Outside of the back four, nothing grabbed me. You know, like we say, we remember the balls up by Agerd / Fabianski on Wednesday. It's one of the moments that stands out.
Yeah.
Remember the standout from Fabianski in this game for keeping Pereira at bay. I don't remember any of that from Fornals, and I don't remember any of that from the forward players. I'm actually going to change my mind and give them a 6.
Okay. Fair enough. The captain, Declan Rice, did he impress?
No.
Okay.
No. Another 6 from me. There was a lot of arm throwing, a lot of gesticulating to other players, we did nothing with that. He didn't, for me, act like a captain on the pitch. It frustrates me because he's not a captain, I suppose. Sorry. But no, 6 for me.
Fair enough. His midfield partner, someone who I've had a lot to say about recently, and I'm not the only one, Thomas Souček.
5. I mean, again, he's probably even lucky to get that, Rob, to be honest with you. I won't say I will say I was disappointed by him, I suppose.
Yeah, fuck it.
Again, he's a passenger. He's a passenger on most of our on the way we play. It's not necessarily his fault that he's a passenger. You know, we're not playing to his strengths, so it irritates the shit out of me. I'll give him a 5.
Fair enough. And then finishing off the midfield division, Mr. Jared Bowen.
6. Again, like I say, it was poor going forward. It was just he made the goal, and that's probably what gets him a 6. To be honest with you, I don't. Again, you know, the standout moments that we talk about, there wasn't one.
Fair enough. And then we move into, apparently he did play a 4-4-2, which is something I've been advocating for a few weeks, as you know, Duke. He apparently did play 4-4-2, although at times I've got to say it looked more like a 6-4-0. But what do you think of Danny Ings?
I'm going to give him a 4, Rob. You know, it's not his fault. I'm not blaming him in the slightest. It's the formation and it's the tactical setup. We're not getting anyone near him. He's a box player. He's someone that scores goals because he's in the box. It's just, and there's no link-up play between him and Antonio. It's not. It's like one speaks Russian, one speaks Glaswegian. You know, there's no conversation between them. It's like they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Again, it's not his fault. I'm going to give him a 4.
Fair enough. And we finish off with the starting 11 with, you've just mentioned him, Mr. Michail Antonio.
I'm going to give him a 3. It frustrates the shit out of me. Against Newcastle, he was almost on the point of being unplayable. Yesterday, he was like a pussycat. It was like he was waiting to be kicked by Zuma. I'm going to give him a 3. I felt that someone his size, someone his, I won't say ability. I'm going to say his strengths are his strength and his pace. Didn't use them once, and it really does fucking annoy me.
Fair enough. And then last but by definitely no means least, what did you think of David Moyes?
I can't even give him a rating, Rob.
Ooh.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Are we talking minus territory?
I'm not even. I'm saying nothing. He doesn't deserve to even get a minus. That's where I'm at. He's inept. His ideas are outdated. His formation, his tactics, it's all outdated as a constant. It's a constant. It's a constant bullshit. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. I've said before, formation and tactics. Formation and personnel don't matter if you're playing the same shit over and over again. And by same shit over and over again, I'm talking tactically. Yeah, we've had this. So when you play, you can play a 3-4-4 or a 3-3-4. Sorry, and with Moyes, that'd still be a defensive formation. That'd still be sit back on your halfway line and don't let them get past you, or go sit on the edge of your box and don't move up past the D in your half of the centre circle. Like that. That's you could play a 3-0-7 and you'd still end up in a situation where you've got 11 men behind the ball, including the keeper. because that's David Moyes. That's how he wants to set up. I mean, again, I'll go back to talking about the under 18s on Thursday. How refreshing it was saying, even defensively, we were on the front foot.
Mm.
We were pressing higher up the pitch. We were. We're defending too high, too low. Sorry, the under 18s pressed. The second that ball came out of their goalkeeper's hands, bosh, they were there on a player's foot. The ball was lumped forward. If they didn't win the first ball, they damn well won the second one. You can guarantee your life that they won the second or the third. If they didn't win those, they went for the fourth and the fifth. And until they got the possession back, they didn't sit back and dally. They hurried, they wanted, they showed desire, they showed passion. What I watched yesterday, because of Moyes, is because of Moyes. They're devoid of all of that. And unfortunately, I mean, I became Moyes out back in late December or late November, after the Leicester game, and unfortunately, that's where I'm at. He's a very shady geezer.
He is. He's my son.
And that's where I'm at. And for that reason, he then doesn't deserve, Rob, a rating because everything is so lackluster with him until... I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd love to see Kevin Keane be given the reins if, something happens to Moyes. He gets run over.
Don't say that.
I didn't say die. All right, I didn't say die. I just said get run over and he's incapacitated for a couple of days. So it means that Kevin Keane goes in and takes over the team. I didn't say die. I didn't say get overly injured either. I just,
How about something sort of like falls out of a cupboard, hits him in the head, and he doesn't know who he is, and we tell him that he's Alex Ferguson,
or he gets COVID and he has to sit out.
That happened before, didn't it? But that was when Alan Irvine was around.
And what happened? We won.
Alan Irvine was around. He's not around anymore.
I don't care. Give it to Kevin Keane. I don't care. Anyone that's not David Moyes. That's all I've got. And there is. Eamon, you are on form this evening. You take the words you take all the theories that are rolling around in my mind. You suck them out. And
are you sure Eamon and you sort of like don't share the same head?
I think we. I'll tell you what. You know that twins thing when there's that kind of cognitive. I think that's me and Eamon. I think he knows. He understands.
I was actually just about to mention that this is what happened because the players at the conclusion of the match all came over and they got a rousing reception from the fans. Mr. Moyes, nowhere to be seen. He just walked across the pitch, where from the dugout is to where the cottage area is, where they all come out. He just disappeared. He slunked off. I didn't actually realise it. It was only latterly that I realised it. There was actually a Moyes out banner that he would have clearly seen. The singing. I remember when I went to the Manchester United game that we lost 1-0 in October, I think it was. Marcus Rashford got the game, the Premier League game, not the FA Cup game. And just a little clue that the away fans are not for David Moyes. And let's be honest, the away fans are the core. They're your hardcore. In that game, we were singing David Moyes' Claret and Blue Army. We didn't sing that once yesterday. Not once.
Because it's not anymore, Rob. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Eastside, spot on, mate. Spot on. Every time this prick's job's on the line, he fathoms a way to go get it. Or is it because the board know that he not being funny, they're not going to come out. Oh, Marky, love that. They're not going to come out. They're not going to come out next or during the week and say Moyes has to beat Arsenal, otherwise he's out of a job. They're not going to do that, are they?
No.
They're not going to say that. So you're not.
He's got to go to City and pick up 3 points.
Yeah. Oh, if he doesn't win against Arsenal, he's gone. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. It's only coming out when it's games that, we've got a realistic chance of possibly getting maybe, we could do. Other than that, it's games that mean fuck all in the grand scheme of things. They're not going to turn around and go, if he doesn't beat Ghent on Wednesday, he's gone. No, that's not how it works, is it? It's games where, or even they might say it after Ghent, if he doesn't beat them. he's going to be out of a job. It's always the games that
He's got to win 5-0.
we have a fathomable chance of winning. They're not going to say it against. They're not going to say it. They're not going to say it. Mate, spot on. Thank you. Let's go. Listen, the game
Old
has
school.
changed. Right, hang on. That's what I was about to say, Rob. The game has changed. Yes, you're right, Marky boy. It has. We used to have wingers. We used to have a left-footed winger playing the left wing. We've interviewed him on this channel already. I interviewed him on this channel already. Yeah. Could score with his right foot, don't get me wrong, a.k.a. Evan. But you had a right-footed player playing on the right. You had a left player playing. This is what we did.
That would be quite helpful, wouldn't it, True Cockney?
I'm not allowed to comment. I'm not. I'm sorry. But fuck, that's funny.
That is very good.
No, it does. It comes down to the fact that like he says there, the game has changed. The game has changed. You're right, but it's changed from being old school into inverted wingers. And there was a time it worked. It came after, I think, the mid-90s World Cup, so maybe Arsenal. And Tottenham signed a player, a Romanian gentleman by the name of Ilya Dumitrescu, who was a right-footed player that played on the left, and it was surprising. Oh my word! Look at this fellow. He's a right footer playing on the left. That's not what we do. This is something different. And yeah, you're right. Anton, I agree. But going back, it's ridiculous. It comes back to Illy Dumitrescu. So the game was a 4-4-2. Always was a 4-4-2. Everyone used a 4-4-2. We used a 4-4-2. Devonshire, Brooking, Macca, you see where I'm going with this. But then you go, and then over the years we changed, and we started being influenced by European football, and then the European players came in, and everything changed. And Dumitrescu type players were highly sought after because old school players, if you were a left back and you had a right-footed right winger, you showed him on the inside because he couldn't do nothing with his right foot. If you showed him down the wing, he would beat you, would get a cross in, and chances are you'd put yourself under pressure. So with a right-footed player playing on the right, you showed him on the inside to his left where he wasn't as good as a left-footed, as a left-footed player. Nowadays, you've got a right-footed player playing on the left whose only intention is to come inside, and for some reason we let them. we don't try and shepherd them down the wing anymore. We let them come on the inside, and that's unfortunately the way it is. And we will get a full circle change. We will end up with a full circle change where you end up with going back to 4-4-2, going back to your outright wingers that are left-footed and right-footed on each flank, and that's the way it'll work. Yeah, and there it is.
Sheringham, Dumitrescu, Anderton, Barmby. Was that the four?
Did they get was that in the round when they got Rebrov? Because Rebrov, was it Rebrov and Sheringham?
No, Rebrov was probably about,
was it a bit later?
6-7 years later.
But Rebrov played with Sheringham. Oh no, that was us. that was when they played for us. Who else did they have? Klinsmann.
Yeah. But no, he's Kent's on about the Aussie Ardiles team. I think
94. Yeah.
Was it 94? Yeah, it must have been about that.
1994 World
93, 94. I remember, like I say, he was so attacking. It was like sort of Kevin Keane on sort of like drugs. Kevin Keegan.
Well, listen, we don't know what Kevin Keane would be like on drugs. Let's just say that.
Maybe he'd be like David Moyes. I don't know. It might have the opposite effect on him. Who knows?
If he smokes marijuana.
Yeah. Cheers, Eastside. That's really kind of you
Much
to mention
appreciated,
that.
buddy.
I do appreciate it if you could. Right. Okay. So, and as I say, I'm gonna just point anyone that hasn't done so. As I say, if you're watching this on Twitter, if you're watching this on Facebook, quickly get yourself over to the YouTube channel. I'm gonna close it very shortly. We've got the Man of the Match award running on the poll. Angelo Ogbonna is at the moment winning it, so he's got 48% of the vote. But you might be watching this on Twitter or on Facebook and are blissfully unaware this poll even exists. So get yourself across to the YouTube channel. We're just going to finish up, Duke and I. So make sure you get your vote in as quick as possible. If you put your vote in, Duke, I know you turned around and said coup foul, but
No, because I don't agree with any of them.
okay, fair enough, no
Sorry.
problem. Don't apologise if that's your opinion. Don't have to apologise for having an opinion, mate. It's all good. Before we do finish off, my friend, any final thoughts on what unfolded yesterday?
That was shit. It was one of the worst games, honestly, one of the worst games of football that I've seen this season from us.
I don't disagree. Not in terms of attacking, anyway.
Just in general, I see where you're coming from, but I just, in my opinion, in general, it was the worst game of football that I've seen. Based on yesterday's performance, despite the fact that we picked up 3 points, I don't think we deserve to stay up.
Do you think we will, though? I know it's not done.
The 6 points from 3 really, really helped, but we have to follow that up with another 8 from the 4 that we've got that are of the relegation candidates. You're welcome, my man. Thank you for being here with us. We have to pick up 8 out of the possible 16. I mean, that's a big task, Rob. 9 out of it's 12, isn't it? Not 16. 12 points. 9. It's going to be difficult, mate. It's going to be difficult. Do I think we can stay up? Yes, I think we can. Do I think we will? I'm 60-40 in favour of staying up.
Mm-hmm. They're the 3 that I think. Oh, I'm with Eastside. I think, like I say,
yeah, I get it.
Saints have gone. I think Leicester are on life support, and I look at Forest's record and the fixtures that they've got coming up, and I go, I don't think it's. I think we're going to finish above those 3. It might not be we finish much above them, but I think we'll finish above them, and then obviously we can then, as a club, have a debrief, get David Moyes will have to be included in this debrief with David Sullivan, Daniel Kretinsky, and I'd like to have Mark Noble involved as well, because one of the things that I'd like to get done in the summer is actually, if it hasn't already been done, actually get Mark Noble's remit sorted out, because I mean, Tommy and I discussed this on a stream that we did a little while back. Mark Noble is nothing more, as far as we can make out, than a club ambassador. This sporting director title is bollocks, because a sporting a sporting director is above the manager, reporting to the chairman, and deals with transfers and various bits and pieces like that. The youth setup, blah blah blah. It doesn't appear, from what I can see, that Mark Noble has the full scope of what would traditionally be known as a sporting director. He's essentially an ambassador who might have a little input into the youth side of things, but that's about it. Cheers, Marky boy.
It's literally his limit, isn't it? Really, we're saying that ourselves right now.
Yeah, but I think we need to, as a club, we need to have a debrief. Personally, I think Moyes should go, and I've been saying this. I've been consistent. I didn't want him to go at the outset. From when I first sort of like made the decision he needs to go, which was after the Leicester game before the World Cup, that was when I said Moyes needs to go with regret.
Yeah,
the with regret statement went, I would say, probably about 6 weeks ago. It went from being regrettably David Moyes must go to David Moyes must go. There's no regret about it. With every game that went past after that where we got beat, it was like, I've got fuck all regret now. He just needs to get the fuck out.
Has to be gone, yeah.
But, who comes in? Listen, we can sit here and we can bat it around and say who's available. Oh, we can't get this person. This person isn't good enough, blah, blah, blah. Let's deal with that in the summer. I think we'll be safe. I think that that those 3 clubs will be below us when the 38th game has been finished. How much will be above those 3? It really doesn't matter, just so long as by hook or by crook we are. I mean, this is going to be a shit season as far as the Premier League is concerned. Whatever happens from here on in, let's be completely honest. The only thing that might put a slight little bit of sheen on it would be if we managed to pick up the Europa Conference League, but that wouldn't, in my opinion, absolve David Moyes of responsibility of spunking 180 million quid up the wall on players that none of them played yesterday.
Agreed. It's ridiculous, mate. Luke says sack forged. I'm not quite there.
It's not very friendly.
It's not. No, that's all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be with us till the end of the season. And I agree. Yeah, I think he should go even if the Conference League is in the back pocket. But there you go. That's just my opinion. Right. Hang on. What's this? Is he having a pop at me? You're walking the Eric Morecambe style cap. Where is it? Oh no, it's in the front room. I do apologise, Pete. You like my cap? I don't know about his Eric Morecambe style. I thought it was more sort of Peaky Blinders with a couple of my badges on the side, making it look a bit more resplendent and decorative. Right. Okay. I think we're going to end it there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look, just as Brendan's turned up, we're gonna have it on our toes, mate. You should have been here an hour and 16 minutes ago. Where have you been? He's probably been eating Easter eggs. That's what I reckon.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Right. Okay. Guys, thank you very much for watching. We got the big debate is, for anybody that's interested, we're doing an episode of the big debate. I've got 4 panelists lined up on the YouTube channel, on the community section of the YouTube channel. I've got a little question out there just asking you for your input. If there's any questions you want me to put to the panelists, put it on the community section of the YouTube channel. I can't promise I'll be able to use everything, but I'll use as much as I can. So get stuck in. There's 46 of you watching. So if you've got any questions you want to ask the 4 panelists, 9 p.m. on Tuesday is when we run it. I'm going to keep quiet on who the panelists are, but we got some really good guests this week, Duke. And it was, I tell you what, I sent out the invites, and within literally a couple of minutes, it was like, I'll do it. And I've even got 4 people on the reserve list. Quite incredible. But get your questions in. Like I say, go to the YouTube channel on the community tab. Put your questions in. There's a little section there where I'm asking for your questions, so get stuck in on that. And then obviously we're going to reconvene on Wednesday, aren't we, Duke?
We are indeed, sir. I will be. Saying that, I might have to record you something because I'm going to be in Alton Towers all day Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, mate. We'll sort something out in the meantime. Not a problem. Well, guys, stay safe. Have yourself a great Easter Sunday. Don't eat too many Easter eggs. Come on, you Irons, and we'll see you soon. And don't forget to give your support to the Iron Supporting Food Bank. And don't forget to drop a like on this stream and all the usual stuff. And if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Exactly. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons.